Folks, welcome back to another awesome episode of Oregon Adventure. In today's video, we are going to be installing a solar system purchased off Amazon. The links are down below in the description on my new to me truck camper that I recently purchased off Facebook Marketplace. And I've been doing quite a bit of work to this thing and getting, everything worked out and situated and whatnot. And I was going to put solar panels on. This was a plan from the beginning. And so, yeah, this was pretty awesome. So let's jump into it. All right, folks, here's my my solar panels that I'm installing. So you can see they're kind of flexible. I will put the Amazon link down below in the description if you guys are interested. I thought this was a pretty good deal. It came with everything you needed in the kit. Each panel is rated at 130 watts. It is a low voltage setup, which is something I learned after I purchased these, which for what I'm doing, this is totally fine. All I'm doing is I have one battery that I'm going to be charging. From what I've heard or what I've read or whatever, these should fully charge on a good day. These should fully charge a battery from being dead, a regular car battery or whatever. So I think we're going to be all right. I don't have a TV or anything in here at the moment. I do have a power inverter, which I would like to use in certain occasions. But I just got back from a 3-night stay out in the woods, totally off grid, boondocking, whatever you guys call it. On the last morning when the heater and the fan was running, my battery indicator was on the lowest bar. But when I turned the fans off, it went back up to halfway. And then on the drive home, which was about an hour and a half to 2 hours, it charged it back up to like 75% or something. So I'm not needing that much power, and I think this is going to be very sufficient. So yeah, we got 2 panels here. We got the wires coming off the panel here. The kit comes with 2 extensions, positive and negative. So we're gonna tie these 2 panels together with these Y connectors up on the roof, and then we're going to bring these wires down into the cab, whatever you want to call it, into the camper. They are going to hook up to the included controller. This isn't the best controller. It's kind of a budget setup, but like I said, I think it's going to be fine for my application. I have a few more things coming that are supposed to be delivered today, so depending on how my deliveries work out, I may continue this video tomorrow or whatever, but at least we can get the panels situated, get some wires ran. We'll go from there. I do have a breaker coming, so I'm going to install, I think it's a 25 or 30 amp breaker in between the solar panels and this controller. I believe that's how it's going to work out. And then we got a little bit of wire here to go from the controller to the battery to charge it. And from what I kind of read through the instructions on this controller and whatnot, it seems pretty good. It's got air codes if something goes wrong. It's got surge protection and all that stuff. You can turn it on or off with the button. It's got a couple of USB plugs in it if you wanted to charge a phone off of it or whatever. But yeah, it'd be pretty interesting. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get the solar panels on the roof and get them positioned. What I'm going to do to just position them is I'm going to use some sticky back tape. Just put a couple strips here and there. Set them where I want them on the roof. We're not doing any drilling in the roof or any drilling anywhere into the interior of the camper. I'm going to show you guys how I'm going to do all that in this video. Later in the video, we will go back and we will basically tape these to the roof with that good, Eternal Bond or whatever tape. I have some of that coming today too. And yeah, it should work out. I've watched quite a few videos on mounting these flexible ones like that. They seem to work pretty good. I've got a little trick I'm going to do to get the wires inside without having to drill into the inside. And like I said, I'll show you guys all that. So first step, let's get some sticky tape. And I got some rubbing alcohol. I totally washed the roof yesterday on this thing. I ended up finding a leak. So I'm going to be doing a leak too, somewhere in between this video or whatever. Hopefully repairing the leak or whatnot. So it turns out that the previous owner, he kind of told a story, I guess you could say. I guess you could say he just flat out lied to me about the camper not leaking, because this camper has a brand new roof system put on it or whatever. Showed that before in the other video. If you guys haven't seen the walk around video of this, you can check it out. It'll be up here in the corner. But yeah, I was kind of disappointed yesterday with that. So that's another thing on the project. I think I got a plan, at least. We'll keep our fingers crossed that it works to stop the leak. But in today's video, we're just going to be concentrating on the install of these solar panels, and we're going to get it all set up, and I'm going to show you guys how I'm going to do it. So let's jump into it. All right, I got the battery out, and man, there's a bunch of hot leads going to the battery. You got 2 ground wires here. So if you look, there's a little vent right there that goes to the battery box. And I think that's gonna be my pathway. So I got the wires just kind of dangling here for now. I have this little adapter piece here. And what I'm thinking is that I'm gonna run the wires down here and just kind of run them over a bit. And then I'm gonna mount this right here somehow. I'll be drilling right through this little flap here. So as you can see, it just goes into nothing. And then I can take them and go right into the vent right there. And I think that'll get me into the battery and into the inside without drilling any holes to, you know, to help prevent with water leaks and whatnot. So that should work out. Looks like I got plenty of wire here too to make the path. And I'm thinking, because we have, let's see, yeah, there's 2. So we got these 2 wires here, these 2 extra wires. This is for the power inverter that's in here. And so I think I'm just gonna punch through here to get the controller wires poked through. And that'll put me out somewhere here. And I was thinking maybe I could just mount the controller here. And I think that's gonna work out. Or possibly just maybe drill another hole right here. That way I don't have to go through any of those holes or mess with that power inverter, even though I do want to eventually at some point move the power inverter. I don't know, today might be a good day to do it, but yeah. So that, first and foremost, I just want to get the controller installed and get it wired, but I'm thinking that might be an okay spot for the controller right here. So not the ideal spot, but you know, I guess the ideal spot would be like up here on the wall somewhere, like where a light switch would be, but I think this is fine. I think that's going to work out, and it's going to be very convenient. So let's do it up. Hole big enough. Oh yeah. That'll be something like that. And we'll put some sticky tape to hold this down, and we'll put caulking all around it or whatever. And it's kind of sitting up underneath this ledge too, so I don't think this is going to be an issue. We'll run these wires up around that way and up top. So making progress. All right, I got the wires into the battery box, and now we got to go out of the battery box inside. And I think the best option is I'm just going to drill some new holes here. I hate to be drilling holes, but I think it's going to work out the best and be the cleanest. Pretty sure I want this to go here and maybe right up against there. So hopefully I won't have any issues with those wires coming out and making this bend here, because it's going to make like a 90-degree bend basically. So one thing this kit doesn't come with is screws to mount the controller, which is kind of weird. So I dug up some of these little black screws that I found in my screw buckets. So they seem to be working out pretty good. That's pretty solid. So now I'm just going to take and drill 2 holes here where we can run the power in and then the power back out. And we'll get it hooked up. All right, got it hooked up. And when I hooked the 2 solar wires up, the screen came on. It's just kind of sitting there blank or whatever, I don't know. It was kind of a pain in the ass to get these larger wires into this little terminal here. I had to actually smash the wire quite a bit to get them in there, but I got them in there. So now I'm just going to hook up the battery, and I went ahead and labeled one of the terminals. That way I know I don't get the 2 black wires mixed up. So we're going to hook up the battery, and see what happens right now. All right, I disconnected the ground coming off the solar, and I got the battery hooked up. Can't believe all these wires are run into this battery box. It's pretty crazy, so I'm gonna have to tidy this up a little bit. But before we hook the solar back up, I'm gonna go through some of the parameters in here. In the instructions and stuff, it says you can set your battery type and whatnot. So, oh no, let's just hit that once. Here, it's a part you guys all been waiting for right here. CO1 is what we want. You got like battery voltage cutoffs and all that stuff, and which I'm not gonna mess with. I think we're good. I'm gonna hook up the solar now and see what we can get. All right, guys, we are officially charging the battery on solar power. This is completely awesome. So you can see the current voltage on the battery right there, which once it started getting a charge, it shot right up to 13.4. What was it? I don't know. I forget what it was a minute ago. But anyways, you can see it's got the little emblem, solar going to the battery, shows it charging. And I don't know how to work this really, but there's our amperage that we're pulling. Voltage on the battery. Maybe we can change that to Celsius. So yeah, pretty sweet. So some of you guys may be wondering about the breaker, and I was contemplating mounting it somewhere in this area here, but I didn't want it to get too cluttered. What I'm gonna do is, so up under here where the wires are running in, I got this extra wire here, you can see, and I'm gonna put the breaker, I'm just gonna mount it up here where it's all janky. But some of that waterproofing's coming off or whatever. But yeah, I think the breaker just going right here would be a perfect spot for it. I'll still be able to access this when it's on the truck. The truck bed rails are gonna come somewhere in this area, so I'll put it over here. It'll help carry and tidy up the wires. It's waterproof breaker, so we'll be good to go. I should have that in a couple hours. And then we'll get up on the top and tape the solar panels down. I'll show you how I do that. So yeah, and I can get this mounted up now and all that good stuff. All right, folks, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you guys have any questions or comments, please leave them down below in the comment section, and I will try to answer them to the best of my ability. Remember, the links to this solar system is down below in the description. Overall, I think this is a great budget setup, a good starter solar kit, you know, if you want to call it that or whatever. You know, if you're not trying to run an air conditioning and the TV all day long, I think this is a great option to go for. It doesn't break the bank. The price is very acceptable. And overall, the install was pretty easy, and I'm super stoked. I'm super happy. So if you guys like this video, make sure and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you guys want to see more of this kind of content. I also do a lot of gun content and adventure, camping, trail cams, hunting, anything that has to do with having an adventure in the beautiful state of Oregon. So until next time, folks, Oregon Adventure.